All right. Good morning, everyone. This is Kasama Lee. I am so excited to be on this virtual webinar with you. Before I begin, I want to make sure that you can see the screen okay and you can hear me okay. So if you wouldn't mind just typing in your message, letting me know that you can hear okay and you can see okay, that would be awesome. Sorry about the mishap a little bit earlier. I wasn't sure what I was doing. Can you all hear me? Okay. Sound check. Let me know. I'm not getting a response, so I'm not sure if you guys can hear me. All right, awesome. Thank you so much, Catherine, for letting me know. Quiet group here. It's okay, we can be together. This is a two-way communication. Awesome, thank you so much, Solomon. Welcome. I just want to make sure that you can hear me okay before I begin, because it wouldn't be a fun webinar if you can't see and you can't hear, right? Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. Again, my name is Kasama Lee. I am a speaker, a business success coach, and an online content expert. And I'm gonna tell you a little bit about who I am in just a little bit. And I just am so thrilled. This is one of the first few series of the webinars that I've started doing as I'm making the transition to do more of the online virtual training and teaching based on what I've done in the past. All right, so now, before we begin, I just want to tell you this, okay? If you are into gifts and you don't mind getting a free gift, you want to stay on to the end of the webinar, as I'm going to be offering you a special gift that I've created just for you, and you'll be one of the first people to get it, and I'm pretty excited about it. Okay, so make sure you stay on. Now, the other thing is, I would suggest that if you receive the email reminder, have a piece of paper and a pen in front of you so you can take notes and jot down some stuff that would be of value to you. There may be some golden nuggets that comes up that you don't want to miss, okay? And also, make sure you're in a quiet place, that you're not distracted. Electronics, turn them off. Computer screen, except for this webinar screen, be on, but turn your Facebook off, turn your social media off. They can wait an hour, and we're actually going to talk a little bit about it, since the webinar is about getting rid of distractions. And then your participation is highly encouraged. If you have questions, if you have comments, if you agree, there are going to be areas that I'm going to be asking you what your thoughts are on it. Please feel free to share. It just makes it a richer experience for all of us, okay? And you will leave today with some techniques you could use immediately to quiet down the distractions in your business and in your life. That's a promise. So you're going to leave with some tools, some mindset. And let's have some fun today, all right? So before we go into the content, I just want to tell you a little bit about why the online courses. I am a pretty busy person myself. I'm a mom, I'm an entrepreneur, I do trainings, I do community service projects that I care about, and I've realized that the last 5 years, the way that I've been really learning is really through online learning, through webinars, through teleconference, and some of the best people that I've learned from, I've learned that way. And I make myself, I go invest in myself, and I go to seminars and all of those things every so often. But you can only do so many of those in a year, right? So I decided I wanted to bring the work that I've done in the live space, in workshops, in live events, to an online space. So there's a couple of places that I'm doing this. First one is on Udemy. If you've never heard of Udemy, it's a platform, it's an online learning platform that there are millions of subscribers and students who are cruising through different courses. So my online programs are in the process of going on Udemy, which I'm so thrilled about, excited about. The second piece is the online community, which is my membership area that you're actually going to be invited to for a free program, which I'm so excited about, okay? But the online programs that I'm currently in the works of creating is the Professional Development Virtual Academy. And that's really designed for business professionals, entrepreneurs, sales professionals, where they can learn, and each module is a topic in itself, where they can actually take specific actions and being held accountable and set some goals and actually start seeing new results through the work that we do together. So just keep in mind that a lot of the work that I'm bringing online are the work that's already proven in the live space that I've done, that I have learned and I have implemented and I have taught. So it's proven concepts coming to you in the comfort of your own home. The programs that I'm working on are the Winning Formula. That's the online program for the business professionals. And another program that's near and dear to my heart is called the Wonder Women program. I consider myself one of the Wonder Women. So there's a story behind women who are just wearing different hats, carrying a lot of stuff on their shoulders, yet wanting to live the life of their passion and purpose, and really creating, hopefully, a business around it. So Wonder Women program it's a monthly subscription, basically, program where women can just plug in at a very affordable tuition so that they can keep growing and learning and feed their spirit and their soul to do the great work they're meant to do. Sounds good so far? Are you guys there? Say yeah. All right. Now we're going to go into who I am. So these are the people in my family, my tribe, my village. That's my husband and my two sons, and we were in Yosemite. We do a lot of getaways as a family to recharge and just really spend quality time together. Those are my boys. The older one in this picture, he was 12. So either he's really tall, I'm really short, right? That's Quinn, and the little one who's 9 is Ari, and they love each other. And that's pretty much, if any of you are parents out there, that's the ultimate blessing you could ever receive as a parent, to see the 2 or the 3 or the 5 of your kids getting along and caring for each other. And that picture summarizes our family. It tells a story of who we are and how we care for one another. We've taken some interesting turn as a family, but we never let go of each other. We've always had each other's hand, each other's back, just like this particular picture. So it's one of my favorite, and we just continue to take the walk together. So in short, they're my priority in my life, and this is one of the reasons why the online course is such an instrumental part of me being able to do the work that I'm passionate about, getting the message out, getting the words, the important words out, and the things that I have learned and been able to share with others now on the virtual space. Isn't that awesome? All right, so now, this was me 13 years ago. I started as a realtor. I never had sales experience. We actually moved into a new town where we didn't know one person. And I was naive enough to think that I could actually start a whole new career that I had never done. I became a realtor and learned from fortunately, I learned from some of the great mentors, people that have done amazing stuff in the real estate industry with a lot of heart, a lot of soul, and a lot of doing the right things for the client, philosophy. And I've learned long ago that for me to learn something well and to do something well, I need to learn from the best people that I could find that are living the life or are in the direction that I want to move toward. So being blessed with a couple of mentors in real estate who are still my dear friends today, in the first 12 months, I became the top rookie of the year. I was one of the top producers, and I continued to be a top producing agent during my tenure in real estate. And I was able to train some of the agents and work with them and share what I've learned. So there seems to be a pattern there. Then I got into learning about professional development, personal growth, transformational growth, and I dug deep, and I've learned from some of the best people, one of them being Dr. John C. Maxwell. I became a certified coach, and fast forwarded, voila, here I am. English is not even my first language, and I learned through the growth that I've gone through, and I've done a ton of public speaking, workshops, live events. The biggest crowd I've spoken in front of was 5,000 people, and I didn't pass out and I didn't fall over. How about that? But I love the live energy, right? And I've come to learn that there's value, there's so much that each and every single one of us has offered to the world. But how do you get your message out so that your message can be heard in a way that is meant to be heard? So this was me just, still impacting lives. I still do live workshops. I'm just, my plan is to do less of them and to do more virtual. Now, this is I love quotes, so you're going to see a few today, okay? But this was a quote that I created, and I shared it on a few social media posts, and I got a lot of, loving responses, so I thought I'd share that with you. Without a strategy, you're just busy. Spend time on your game plan. Spend time on your game plan. Isn't that cool? We're going to be talking about some game plan today, okay? So before we begin, let's have a little friendly agreement that I ask of you, okay? This is what I ask of you, and I do this when I work with clients, when I do group coaching, private coaching, when I do workshops even if it's like I'm about to do a workshop for professional development, leadership development next week for 75 people. This is what I ask up front from the room, because when we're in agreement, we are on the same page. Yes or yes, right? So here's my request of you. Release yourself of judgment. There's no room for judgment in this conversation. There's no right, no wrong. If there's some of the things that I'm going to be sharing with you, if it's something that you're already doing that you're realizing that it's not growing you and your business and the relationships around you, just let go of it. There's no judgment here. This is not about making you wrong. I mean, I've been to so many of these places that I'm about to share with you. It's hard to teach about something that you've never done or that you don't know about. I believe that, okay? So release yourself of judgment, the feeling of judgment, or even of other people. We're creatures of habit, so we tend to do that. We're wired that way. And our journey in life is to not be stuck in a judgmental state, because it kind of holds us back. It's part of the drama series, okay? All right, so before I begin, I want to kind of set a stage for this, our framework, okay? This is actually a very, very globally known teaching by the late Stephen Covey. His work is still continuing on in corporations and around the world, and it's the 4 quadrants, and it's from the book of 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Okay, now let me talk to you about the different grids. The first quadrant is what's urgent and what's important. Okay, second quadrant, Q2, is what's not urgent and what's important. Third quadrant is what is urgent and not important. And the fourth quadrant is what is not urgent and not important. So we're going to dive into each one of these quadrants, and I want you to take mental note of where you're spending most of your days, in which quadrant, okay? So here are the elements, some examples of the first quadrant. Urgent and important. Things that are, you know, they're crises, right? They're like you wake up and you didn't know this was going to happen, and you end up putting out fires, right? If you know what I'm talking about, say, yeah, I've been there, right? Deadlines, deadline driven. And unfortunately, this is how I seem to thrive in deadline driven. I do pretty well under pressure. How about you? You know, some people say, you know what, I just function well under pressure. And some people don't like pressure. Okay. Literally it freaks them out. Pressing problems, right? Or meetings that need to happen. Those are the things that are urgent and important. So we have a tendency to respond over here more than anywhere else because of the word urgent. Don't you love that when people say it's, you know, get back to me ASAP? ASAP. It just like, you know, you start dropping everything to respond to that, okay? Second quadrant are elements like things that you would prepare, make time to prepare to do, okay? Things that are relationship building. If you attend networking events, if you do meetup meetings, or if you do one-on-one connection, those are relationship building. If you're in business, that also is true in personal relationships. You know, I mean, it's interesting. Sometimes the people who are closest to us, we take the least time with because we're too busy being in quadrant one, right? We're not doing relationship building. We're not bonding and all of those things. So think about that. Marketing, right? Especially if you're in business, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're in corporate, the whole model of your business rests upon how you market, whether people know about you, right? List building, that's really your database. Your list is your commodity of your business. Online marketing, if you're into online marketing like me now, you know, I've learned a lot, and I'm still learning from some of the really amazing minds that I surround myself with. You know, what are you doing if you're doing virtual stuff, online marketing, okay? What social media are you using? Filing, believe it or not, are important, because when you've got papers piling up and you cannot find that one piece of paper that might be a contract, guess what? You might be in trouble, right? Okay, are you guys still with me? Say, yeah, I'm here. So I know you're here, okay? Let me know. Interactive, remember, just type yes, okay? Quiet group. Okay, don't be one of those quiet people. Okay, Q3, quadrant 3 is about what's urgent and what's not important. Urgent, but not important. Example would be interruptions, right? When somebody's like, you know, could I talk to you right now? I need to talk to you right now. Guess whose agenda that is? It's certainly not ours, is it? Right? Emails. I have a whole course that I actually go through, a whole module that I go through about what you need to focus on. Thank you, Catherine. I see you're still here. What you need to focus on to be proactive. And one of the things I talk about in emails is, you know what? Take care of yourself, feed your spirit, nourish your soul, do whatever your morning ritual is. Like I do a whole module on just morning ritual, okay? Your emails are whose agenda? Not yours, right? The moment you start opening up emails, and tell me if you can relate to this, you start opening up emails and 2 hours later, now you're solving problems. Now you're responding, and you were just going to check in on your email. How many of you have been there? Say, been there, because I've been there, okay? And it's an intentional process to say, you know what? I'm not doing my emails until later at a certain time. Like I don't go to my email until sometimes 9:30 or 10 o'clock, depending on my morning. But I will be ready for other people's agendas once I've taken care of my own agenda. Ooh, that's deep, right? Social media cruising, Facebook, blame it all on Facebook, right? But any social media, Instagram, Twitter, I'm on all social medias, okay? But if you start cruising, you start learning about other people's business, someone's like, I've been there. Yeah. And I think we all have. It's just an awareness of like how much of that time has been burned up just dealing with social media, learning about other people's issues and businesses. We're going to talk a little bit about that in just a little bit in the drama section. Oh, guess who's in quadrant 3? Our friend drama, right? So recognizing that drama is actually a pattern of dealing with what is urgent and sometimes not important, okay? And not to be disrespectful and saying that, drama and other people's issue is not important. That's not what I'm saying at all. But how important is it in the scheme of things in your life in this moment, right? If you're cruising on your phone right now, you need to stop because I can see you. Just kidding. Okay, quadrant 4. Trivial, little things, right? Busy work. Fouling can actually be used as busy work when you know that there's a bigger project, there's a deadline driven, there's a task that you need to do, and you would rather be fouling and you call it work. That is busy work, right? So you got to use your discretion on what is not urgent and not important here. Cleaning junk email. And I've shared this story every single time. I actually pay my son, my now 13-year-old, to clean my junk email. Because you know why? I figured my time is worth more than the dollars that I pay him, the $10 that I pay him per session. And I could totally get absorbed in cleaning junk email because I've been there too. But does it really serve the main purpose of what I'm supposed to be doing to move the needle? So that's the question you got to ask yourself. How much time do you spend on these things? Time wasters, okay? And that could be anything to make us feel like we're working. TV. Oh, I actually grew up watching a lot of TV because that was just kind of the culture in my family. And I realized that, TV had just burned up so many hours of my living daylight, breathing hours. Well, no, I'm always breathing, but living daylight, that I have become sort of like the polar opposite now of TV watching. Like I watch to learn something like Shark Tank. How many of you love Shark Tanks, right? So I watch stuff that I can learn something from, and the rest can just, be for somebody else to watch. Gossip. I'm going to talk a little bit about dealing with that as well. Okay. So the question I have for you, and you want to jot this down, is where are you spending the most of your time right now? Urgent, important, quadrant 1. Not urgent, but important, quadrant 2. Urgent, not important, quadrant 3. Look at the activities. And not urgent and not important in quadrant 4. Where are you spending the most of your time? Put a star in that quadrant, okay? And then jot down the percentage, approximate percentage on a ballpark daily basis in each quadrant based on the activities. Do that now, okay? Now, the reason I ask you to do that, okay, and this is kind of when I work with my clients, this is what I do. There's a whole lot of action and reflection and the things that we do and the takeaways, because otherwise you just know a whole lot, but you're not functioning any differently. So my question to you is, where are you spending the most of your time right now? I would love it if you would share, because at one point in my life, I was all quadrant 1. I was Miss Type A personality, and I was fast moving, and I was dealing with, the fires. every single day, especially when I was in real estate. You know, I now that I look back, I realize that my life was about putting out fires for other people and for my clients, because it was such a big, you know, they trust you with such a huge piece of their family decision, that my life was about quadrant 1. Okay, so which quadrant are you spending the most of your time? Okay, and the reason I say that is because guess where truly driven, successful, and what I mean by successful is not just about, you know, money and rich and all that, but people who have the characteristics of success, leadership, being clear about where they're going. Guess which quadrant they spend the most of their time in? Come on, somebody give me a guess. If you have heard me talk about this before, don't guess, because then you already know the answer, right? All right, I'm gonna reveal the answer. The answer is you want to put all your energy, intention, awareness into quadrant 2. That is truly where most of your results will come out of. This is where you move the needle in your business and in your life, okay? Quadrant 2. Nice, Solomon. Quadrant 2 is where you want to spend your time, okay? Now, we're gonna knowing all this now, and now you know which quadrant drama lives in, so I hope that you know not to spend time in quadrant 3, okay? Because that's really where it really takes so much out of you that you don't, sometimes you're exhausted, you don't have anything left because you've been spending time on all these things that really, when you think about it, quadrant 3 is about other people's agenda. Look at it, right? Not about you at all. But sometimes it's much easier to do that than to look within and to work on internal agenda, okay? Which to me, that means personal growth. So let's talk about what drama is, okay? The elements of drama. Drama are stories, okay? They're the he said, she said, and they said this is what happened, and they said, you know, and I heard that this happened. Stories. That's drama. Because unless I am, you know, and I've learned this long ago, unless I have experienced about a person, you know, because somebody says, you know, somebody will tell you, don't bother with so and so because they're such and such, right? It's a story. It's their version of it, and you know, there's more than one version of every situation, right? So unless I have experience personally about someone or a project or a community, it will not be my opinion until I have that personal experience. And I will not take on somebody else's opinion. That's what I've learned. That's personal growth, okay? So what's the second element of drama? Third party, right? Conversations about people who are not in the room, right? That's the best way I could describe it, because when the conversation starts going about somebody else who's not there to even defend themselves or to even hear what's being said about them, that's third party conversation. And a lot of drama comes out of that, because with that, how many of you agree? Say it. Uh-huh, A-H-A, uh-huh, right? So when that happens, it becomes speculation. It becomes, you know, more of what you might call gossip, right? And gossip was actually in quadrant number 4. It becomes about something that wasn't, you know, a lot of us don't intend to start out that way, but when the conversation goes on, it turns into something that shouldn't even be there to begin with, right? That's third party. What drama is complaints, right? It's just, here are the problems, and let me give you more problems, and here's another issue, but there's no resolution in sight. No resolution in sight, okay? And what I mean by that is, you know, one of the things that I do when I before I got into real estate, I was an executive in a company, in an internet startup company. And my office was like a revolving door. And I used to deal with people coming in complaining, right, as you would imagine. And one of the ground rules that I had was, what solution do you have? What do you think might be the possible solution? So if you deal with a lot of people and some are complainers, you could use that. And it's amazing how you can help people reframe what they're doing, because you're starting to train them to think about the solution, right? What possible solution might you have? And when you're spending time thinking about solution, you don't have energy or time to be complaining. You see, solution and complaining don't live together. So you actually redirect people. Isn't that awesome? And it works amazingly. And I've trained my brain to be that way. Okay. So when I start to want to whine and like life is not fair, I'm like, what solution? What can I do right now to change the situation? Okay. So complaint is another element. What else is drama? My goodness. Drama is victim conversations that take place. And usually they kind of start something like this. How could they do this to me? How could they? I had no choice in the matter. I literally had no choice, because see, the moment you say that you have no choice, you've given your choices, your ability to make the choice, to someone else or to the situation. Does that make sense? Okay. I had no choice in the matter takes the options away from you. So be careful what you say. I don't mean just you, because I've said that, and I've been there, and I'm very well aware of what I choose not to say now because I have a choice, right? How empowering is that? All right. Thank you, Solomon. Amen. All right. Now, side effects of drama. So, we talked about the symptoms. We just talked about the symptoms, what drama is. Now, here are the side effects. Ready? You are exhausted. You're drained. You are spent by the time this is, the drama is over. And sometimes it's not ever really over. It like comes on. There's like a series of them. So you're just exhausted. You don't have any more left in you. Have you ever been in a situation where, when a certain phone call, thanks to caller ID, you don't want to pick up because your energy is going to be drained from it, or a situation or a project or a particular meeting, group of people that you meet with. It's just like you dread showing up because you know what happens to you at the end, right? Those are side effects. You can tell when there's drama involved because you're just exhausted with no resolution in sight. Another side effect is it seems to never end. Like I said, there's a series, right? One negative thing would lead to another. There's just more of it. And sometimes it gets bigger and bigger, right? Another side effect is more people would gather around and it gets even more dramatized. Let's just use Facebook as an example. The people cruising part that I was talking about, how many times, have you somebody would post something about something they're upset about or their opinion or how somebody treated them unfairly. And before you know it, that thread gets so big and so many opinions start showing up, and it doesn't get better. Every so often you'll get like one positive comment, but the rest, it's like, I've been there. This is happening to me too. I know how you feel. The world sucks. You know how that goes, right? So more people would gather around as it gets more dramatized. Do you agree? Okay. Now, so there's a little bit of a close cousins between drama and being pessimistic. Okay. And I just pulled this up, a definition from the online dictionary. Pessimistic is tending to see the worst aspect of things or believe that the worst will happen. It's that half-empty perspective, right? So usually, to have drama going on, there's pessimism involved, right? It's hard to be positive and live in drama. Would you agree? That was a conscious choice that I made a long time ago in my life, that my philosophy in living is to be a positive person. I mean, that's a choice I made, right? So it's hard for me to be positive and live in drama. They just don't live together, okay? So the good news is there is a cure. There is a cure for drama. Well, they're not, but you get the picture, okay? We have a cure. So here's the thing. Before we go into the cure, we have a choice, okay? There are two types of people, I believe, and there's been teaching around this. John Maxwell, my mentor, by the way, he's a #1 leadership expert in the world. And I've been mentored and certified by him, and his teaching and principles have changed who I am and how I live my life and the work that I do today. And this is, I'm kind of shortening what he teaches, but you're either an adder or you're a subtractor. All of us, every single one of us, okay? And that, again, is a conscious choice. We either add value into people's lives or situations or communities or our work, or we're a subtractor, which means we take, right? We drain what's there. So the question is, in every situation that you're in, that you're part of, ask yourself, am I going to be an adder or am I going to be a subtractor? You can't be both. Two different mentalities, right? Would you agree? How many of you are adders? Say, I'm an adder. Adder. Where are you? I'm an adder. Okay. Certifiable. All right. So to get in shape, your body needs to be in training, right? You got to flex. I mean, you could start with no muscles, but you got to do some resistance work. You got to do some weightlifting, and you got to push your limits to develop muscles. Not to say that we all want to develop muscles, but to get even, what's the word I'm looking for? Tuned up, right? To get lean. You're an adder, awesome, okay? To get lean, you got to lift weights, or you got to do the workout, right? You got to be in training. Well, guess what? Oh, I love this picture. Our brain needs to be in training too. Our brain needs to lift some weight. And guess what I do, ladies and gentlemen? I'm a boot camp mindset trainer. That's what I do. If that makes any sense at all, I love this picture because it speaks exactly to what I do. You know how when you go to the gym and if you're lifting weights, you got to have somebody spot you and say, more, one more rep, okay? One more push. Now let's increase it by 10 pounds. All of that stuff, okay? Well, I'm that spotter. I'm the person who does that with my clients in their mental training and fitness, which I love, okay? So our brain needs the same thing as our body does, but a lot of times we'd rather go to the gym and spend money and have somebody train us so that we can feel better from the outside. And a lot of times we don't do the work on the inside, and that's really where the biggest precious commodity in our lives is, I believe, okay? Because believe it or not, even losing weight and physical fitness starts from within, from the fact that you got to mentally believe and know that you can do it. So that's what coaching is, okay? To me, it's guiding and pulling somebody, not pulling somebody, but more guiding, because they got to do their own pull, okay? They got to carry their own weight, but showing them and asking a series of questions that would actually get them to reflect, give them the exercises, the reflective process and the insight to raise their level of awareness that's already within them, so that they could continue to do the climb to live that life of purpose and their destined greatness, okay? Now, my question is, what's the extra baggage you're carrying, okay? That guy looks pretty tired, right? I mean, he doesn't look like a happy camper, and he's crossing. He's trying to walk down that road. Well, guess what? Drama and the things that we take on other people's issues, the stuff that we don't need to be carrying is weighing us down, and we just don't know it sometimes. And we're exhausted, and the things that we wanted to focus on doing, the great things, the things that actually better ourselves and our family and people we love and our career, get kind of shoved to the side because we're loaded up on our back, like this poor guy, right? So what's the extra baggage you're carrying? Jot that down right now. If one thing comes to your mind, write it down. If it's a project, if it's a habit, if it's something that you know you need to unload, what is that for you? Okay, what is it that you need to unload so that you can move the needle, that you can move forward, that you can have clarity in what you're doing? And the question is, are you ready to unload the baggage? Okay, are you ready? Say yes. Yes, I am. It starts with a decision, right? All right, now we're going to talk about some ways and tools to eliminate drama. Are you ready to unload the drama? Let's do this. Techniques to eliminate drama, okay? Block time on social media. If you're doing online business like me, okay, I set a scheduled time to do that. Like, I don't end up sitting there and cruising on Facebook. You know, it's interesting because people see me on Facebook and LinkedIn and all that stuff, and they go, "Did you see such and such?" Right? And I'm like, "No, actually, I didn't, because I wasn't on it long enough, and I went in to do my work, and I cruised through and intentionally comment." Making positive, you know, becoming an adder on social media and on certain posts and certain people that I adore and admire, right? And the rest I don't really, you know, spend time on because it's not where it's going to propel me in the direction that I want to go. Okay, so block time on social media. You know, if you spend 30 minutes in the morning, 45 minutes in the afternoon, whatever it is, block the time, because there are tons of social media. You know that. I mean, I just got on Periscope because I wanted to learn it, and a few people that I'm learning from are on Periscope. It's awesome. So, by the way, if you are on Periscope, find me at Kasama Lee, and I'm going to be doing some more like live chats and stuff like that. Just a little, you know, reflective thought, short teaching, maybe 5-10 minutes. On a regular basis on Periscope starting probably next week, okay? But block time for social media. The other thing is, be intentional about what you post to the world. What does that mean? That means whatever it is that you want people to know about you, go ahead, by all means, post it. But whatever it is that is draining you, whatever it is that's upsetting you, whatever it is that makes you feel like you're a victim, whatever it is that is not adding to the world, be intentional about whether you want to post that, because sometimes that spreads like wildfires. And here's what I work with teenagers, and sometimes I do workshops for them. That's kind of the cause part. I speak at high school and stuff. And I tell them, I said, you know what? Your digital identity follows you for the rest of your life. You can never go, there's no place to go erase your record. All people need to do is Google you, and they can find whatever that other people post about you, and the same stuff that you post, or the stuff that you intentionally post about yourself. So be intentional about what you post to the world, because the world is reading. Ooh, all right. So another technique is to block features on social media and your phone. What do I mean by that? What I mean is you can actually, well, here's what I have done. Let me just tell you what I've done. I've turned off, you know, those notifications that you get on your phone, like when there's an email that comes in, or, you know, there's a comment on Facebook, whatever, right? And you get these red dots. Well, I have an iPhone, so that's what it does. And I finally figured out, after all these years of having owned a cell phone, how to turn those red dots off. Now I'm not notified, thank goodness. And it's been the most peaceful thing, because now I go to my phone on my own time. Notice I'm not on somebody else's agenda. Those red dots are somebody else's agenda too. It's the iPhone agenda, right? So I turn that off. Okay, so that's one way of doing it. But you know, and they're people, and they're individuals that some people get on social media for their own agenda. And sometimes it's not conducive. It's not part of the circle that you want to be part of. You can actually block those noises as well. Like, you can block them and they can't see you and you can't see them. So I just taught you how to be unfriendly. I'm sorry. But it's been the most amazing, peaceful process that I've learned how to do this. And I finally and you can always unblock, right? If you don't like it, you can go back to what you had. That's what I always say, right? Try it for a change. If you don't like it, go back to what you had before. Nobody's taking that from you. You just turned it off. That's all, right? Isn't that kind of is that a relief for you to know that you can get it back, right? But I'm not going back. I like not having the red dots on my phone. Okay, another technique. Don't watch the news before bedtime. Don't watch the news before bedtime. Why? Because bad news sell. Guess what they're selling out there? What people are watching are the bad news, right? The murders, the wars, the negative, the political debate that's going on. Ooh, it's nuts. And you can get so caught up, like 3 hours into that, like my body can't, like my brain shuts down. I can't even entertain it for that long because I've trained my brain to be that way. Good news don't make it on primetime news, do they? Not primetime news. Once in a while, you see some good news article in my local newspaper, and I literally would write to the person who wrote it, the writer, the staff writer, and I said, I appreciate you sharing the good news. Like, people making a difference in the community. There's not enough of them because they don't sell. That's just the nature of the beast. Okay, so you decide what you want to take in before you go to bed. Because here's the thing about going to bed, and I do in my the ritual module that I do, I talk about this, because whatever you take to bed with you in your mind, in your consciousness, subconsciousness, stays with you through the night. How about that? Okay, and you wake up with the residual of it still lingering. Have you ever woken up on the wrong side of bed, or you felt like you woke up on the wrong side of bed? Guess what? You probably were reading or doing or listening the night before. The stuff is still there, right? Our mind is like a sponge. Be careful what you're allowing to soak up. Another technique, okay? Set boundaries. And I used to think this was just, women having a hard time saying, just having a hard time just saying no to certain things, and they end up saying yes, right? Because here's the deal. Saying yes is much easier than saying no. How many of you agree? Say, that's me. Saying yes is much easier than saying no, because saying no brings confrontation, brings challenges, conversations you don't necessarily want to have. But guess what? Let me tell you something. Once you learn how to set boundaries, and the only way you can set boundaries is for you to know where you're going and what's important to you, what are your priorities, what's in your quadrant 2, right? So that you know what to say no to. And without guilt, I still get approached to serve in the community, and there's just some causes that are not my thing, and I just say no. Without any guilt. I used to feel guilty, not anymore. Because you know what? There's every single thing that is needed in the world, there's somebody else who could be better suited to serve. Just because you're in the room doesn't mean you have to say yes. Or just because you've been asked doesn't mean you have to say yes. You have to look at what your priorities are, what your plans are for your life, for your business, so you know what to say no to. Okay, so boundaries is a whole other module that I dig into, because it's not women, I've learned. Okay, all right, now another technique. Are you guys getting fed? Are you loving this or what? Okay, another technique is, I want you to say this, and you can say it from where you are, because I can't hear you and we can't hear you, so go ahead and say it. I want to be part of the solution. Say it with me. 1, 2, 3. I want to be part of the solution. Why did I make you say that? Because when you say that, it changes the conversation. When there's complaint, there's stuff that's going on, and when you all you got to say is, you know what? I want to be part of the solution. They can't go there And people don't mean to. I'm not saying people are bad. It's just our culture. It's the way things are in the world, right? But when you correct it with, I want to be part of the solution, now the conversation is about seeking solution. And at least people know that's part of setting boundaries. It's letting people know that you're not going to go into the whole drama conversation. You know, just no time for that, right? Okay, another technique, last one. Ooh, avoid gossips, right? If the person you're talking about is not in the room, do you really need to be part of it, right? I mean, just ask yourself this. If you're not in the room, would you like people to be talking about you? Well, if they say nice things, that's cool, right? But nevertheless, these are kind of the cue questions, believe it or not. I still do this because, I don't just train other people. I got to train my own brain too. I ask myself these questions. Is the person I'm talking about in the room? I look around, I don't see the person. I change the subject and I say, you know what, let's wait until that person comes back in the room. And you know what, it changes the level of respect that people have for you, because you don't have to go with the flow and where the current is going. You can be the one to change the current as well if it's not going the right direction. Would you agree? All right, so now your takeaway questions, okay? Here's your one takeaway questions. When I work with my clients, this is what I do. There's a whole lot of takeaway. We reflect and we look at what we took away from what we've learned. So your takeaway question is this. What are some ways you have found to help eliminate drama in your life and in your business that maybe was not addressed here? What are some ways you have found to help eliminate drama? Or better yet, what are some ways you are now willing to take on to eliminate drama in your life? I want you to write that down, okay? Write that down. All right. Just jot it down real quick. Make sure that you have this sheet of paper with some stuff written in it, your thoughts being reflected, into writing. There's power in that as well. Okay. So how about that? It's a choice, right? I choose to be drama-free. How about that? Okay? I choose to be drama-free because you know what? There's something powerful about when you have clearly stated the choice that you make, okay, on what you end up with when you have proclaimed your choice. Being drama-free is a choice, ladies and gentlemen, okay? How about that? I love that. I make a lot of choices. Have to, okay? I don't want the world to make the choices for me. All right, ready for the gift? Yes! My gift to you. This is so awesome. I've been so excited to share this with you, okay? So I do online courses, as I told you before, okay? I've created a free mini course, a 3-part mini course online program for you. If you are ready to just dig a little deeper, just based on what we talked about today, okay? This is kind of how it looks like when I do group coaching. I use Google Hangout. I actually have an awesome mastermind group that we do Google Hangout with as well. And I just, so amazing to be able to see people's expression, okay? But it's all online, baby. There's a whole world out there that you could be part of. All right, so here is how you will get your gift. Ready? All right, let me see if I can do this. Okay, so 3 easy steps to get your free mini course, my gift to you. You can either send a blank email. You should do it right now, so you'll have it in just very shortly. Free VIP course at getresponse.net, okay? Now, when you do that, you're going to, in like a matter of less than probably 2 or 3 minutes, you're going to get a confirmation asking to confirm. And it's going to look like the bottom right picture there. It's going to say, please confirm your subscription to free VIP course. That's the list that's going to give you access to the course, okay? Or you can click to the right there of your screen where, where the red arrow is, and it'll take you to the form that you can just fill your name and your email address, and it'll give you the same result. You'll get that please confirm your subscription, the step number 2. So you can either send an email, or you can just quickly do the let me in, click the let me in button, and it'll take you to the same place, okay? Trying to make it easy for you. And then what happens after that, do you guys have that? I hope you have that, okay? After that, okay, won't let me move forward. So I need to, let me see if I can do that, okay. Oh, won't let me, so I gotta remove. Okay, I hope you got that, okay? Won't let me, why is it not letting me? Let me see. Okay, here we go. When you confirm, you're gonna get this page. It's gonna say you're all set. And then the third step you need to do is to actually log into your profile. Okay, you need to log into your profile to create a profile. It'll ask you to create your username, your password. This is your private login. I mean, this is a real deal, okay? Like, it's a membership site that you're not paying for. But for my other paid programs, it's the same membership online community, but this one gets you the access to the free mini course, okay? So you're gonna click that button when you get it in your email, login profile, and create your profile, and make sure you write down your password, your username, just like anything else. And if you forget, you'll have the opportunity to reset your password as well, okay? So go ahead and do that when you get that third email, the confirmation email, okay? And this is what the online community page looks like, okay? That will take you there, and where you would do your registration. Welcome. I'm so excited. Okay, and this is kind of the program that you're going to be part of, is the Virtual Mindset Bootcamp. Free mini course is a 3-part series with some quizzes you got to take at the end. I mean, they're designed for busy people, so they're quick and to the point, and then they're action items that you would take, and it's a community, right? So you have an idea of how this works and how this could totally add value to your life. And I would love it if you would invite other people that you know to take advantage of this online mini course as well, because it's free. I'd love to get the word out into the world. If I can just help impact one person who may never take a course from me, it's okay. I'm totally okay with it, because I know that I'm touching the world in the way that I know how, through the work that I do in the online space, okay? Now, you remember this screen. So this is how the online courses, now it's starting to make sense to you, the community that I've created, and I'm gonna be showing up on Udemy later on in the year. Now, these paid programs are probably gonna go live, at least the Winning Formula program will go live by mid-September, so about a month from now, okay? So I'm working diligently on just building the program. And if you have feedback, if you have areas that you're challenged in that you would love for that to be taught around, expanded around, shoot me an email at kasama@kasamalee.com. Just hit a reply from one of the emails that I sent to you, okay? I would love to know what do you feel challenged in what areas, okay? Because I know that you're not the only one. We're all made in different flavors with the same kind of common fiber of being a human. The question is, what will it cost you not to invest in yourself? And what do you have to invest in yourself? Not in dollars, because I mentioned it's free, but in time. What will it cost you not to invest in yourself in the time that you would put into flexing your mental muscle, so that the needle continues to move in the direction, in the degree that you want it to move? Okay. And the last quote I want to leave with you is, before you speak, think. T, is it true? H, is it helpful? I, is it inspiring? N, is it necessary? K, is it kind? I hope that you will be that positive. No, I don't hope. I know that you will be that positive adder in the world, in your community, in your family, in the people that you touch through your business, in the lives of others, and in probably the people that you have not yet even met. And it has been my honor and my privilege to be with you today. Thank you so much for being on with me. I would love to hear from you. If this is helping you, shoot me an email, or you can comment here right now. I'll stay open for just a few minutes for any Q&A, for any comments or questions. Feel free to type it in. If I can answer any questions for you, I would love to be able to do that for you. This has been the work that has changed my life, and you better believe that this is my mission in life, to be able to extend that and to be able to, pass it on and leave this world a better place than how I found it when I got here. Thank you very much, Solomon. Thank you for the comment. I know that there's quite a few more of you on, and you're quiet. That's okay. That's a choice. But shoot me an email if you like. Again, if there are no questions, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you very much for being part of my day, and I hope that I have added value to you and having hopefully given you something to think about so that you can go be that greater impact in the world. Thank you, Catherine. Have a great and awesome rest of the day and an awesome week. Stay blessed. This is Kasama Lee signing off. Make sure you get a hold of that free VIP course. It's for you, my gift to you. Take care.